Hey guys, it is Allie. Thank you for joining for another edition of Let's Explore. Today we are going to be hiking on the Songbird Trail, which is just up 550 in Marquette on the way to Big Bay, and it's in the area of Little Presque. So let's explore.
The trail starts out on a single-track trail surrounded by dense forest. Although the trail is mostly dirt, it is also covered with old fallen leaves and branches. The trail is marked by signs that are blue and are nailed to the trees. There is a river just ahead with a man-made wooden bridge. There is also a blue tent on the left-hand side. As we cross the bridge, it does have a slight movement to it. On the right-hand side, there is a trail sign that gives information about the area. However, due to people fishing on that side, I did decide to pass it, and we will see it on the way back. Walking up man-made wooden steps. The trail has slight rolling hills and is surrounded by dense forest. The trail narrows and approaches a ridge line. On the right-hand side, it slopes down towards a swampy area that appears to have a lot of dead trees. On the right-hand side of the trail, there is a sign that reads, "Life in Dead Trees." Notice the dead trees in this area. Even though not living, these dead trees are an important part of the woodland habitat. Swallows, woodpeckers, small owls, and squirrels use dead trees for food and homes. Beside a picture of a pleated woodpecker, it reads, "There is no mistaking this crow-sized woodpecker with its 30-inch wingspan, flashing black and white plumage, and flame-red crest. You may also hear its call, a resounding kick, 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 echoing through the forest." Beside a picture of a hairy woodpecker, it reads, "The hairy woodpecker and its almost identical smaller cousin, the downy woodpecker, also live here. Neither bird has much of a song, only a sharp alarm call, peep, and a dry rattle." Continuing on the trail as it weaves along the ridgeline. Approaching a sign on the right-hand side of the trail, it reads, "Life in Layers." In the woodland communities, many birds divide the available foraging and nesting space vertically from the forest floor to the treetops. By resorting to layers, most species and birds can occupy the same area without competing with one another. Beside a picture of a yellow warbler, it reads, "The yellow warbler may be found along the edges of alder thickets. Listen for its song, sweet, sweet, I'm so sweet." It seems to say in the rapid chant with an upward inflection. Next to a picture of a Blackburnian warbler, it reads, "High in the upper canopy of the conifers lives the Blackburnian warbler, one of the most beautiful of the warblers. The Blackburnian, or firethroat, is striking in Halloween colors, a flaming orange throat and head, a black back and wings, and a vivid white wing patches." The trail takes a sharp left-hand turn and stays along a ridgeline. Approaching another sign that reads Raptors. Select a spot among the pines where you can stand quietly and scan the large open area above the wetlands. This is a good place to observe raptors, which are birds of prey. Raptors prey on small mammals, snakes and frogs, insects, and other birds. They help keep the populations healthy by picking off injured, diseased, and less alert individuals. Such predators are a real asset in an ecological community. Next to a picture of a merlin, it reads, Raptors are wary and hard to approach. Perhaps you will be fortunate enough to see a small, sleek falcon called the merlin. A merlin is about the same size as a small pigeon and has long, pointed wings. On the right-hand side, you can see the beach along Lake Superior. On the right-hand side, there is another trail sign that reads River Delta. Please remain on the path at this site. Walking down on the flats beside the creek may damage the fragile environment and cause erosion. Human intrusion also disturbs the many birds which feed and nest in this area. This spot attracts gulls, ducks, and a wide variety of shorebirds. Many species of shorebirds may be seen wandering the shallows or foraging along the mud flats in search of food washed down by the current. Most wading birds merely stop here briefly to rest and feed during their annual migration. One shorebird, the spotted sandpiper, nests in this locale. A picture of a spotted sandpiper. Next to it reads, The first thing you notice about this robin-sized shorebird is that it teeters, as if it is slightly off balance. When it flies, it may give a distinctive peet call. You can see the beach on the right-hand side and another sign that reads Beach. Sometimes bald eagles are seen flying alongside the shoreline or soaring over the small islet. Common loons may also be observed bobbing on the waves, but the birds most likely will be seen in the shoreline habitat are gulls, sometimes mistakenly called seagulls. The herring and the ring-billed are two gulls most frequently seen here. Next to a picture of a herring and ring-billed gull, it reads, These two birds look a lot alike. Both have light gray backs and long, narrow gray wings with black tips. A mature herring gull can be identified by its stout yellow beak with a red spot in the lower bill. The ring-billed gull is smaller and does indeed have a black ring around the tip of its bill. Young birds of both species do not acquire adult plumage for several seasons and are more difficult to distinguish. Walking towards the water to get a better look of the beach and the waves rolling in. Back on the trail, it is much wider than it was before, but still surrounded by dense forest, and you can see the beach and the lake on the right-hand side through the trees. Approaching a sign on the left-hand side that reads Conifer Forest. Conifers, with their thin, waxy leaves called needles, are among the oldest of the trees. 3 types of pines grow here: white pine, red pine, and jack pine. This old road is a good vantage point for observing 2 birds, which prefer thick conifer forests. Next to a picture of a black-throated green warbler, it reads, "This small bird has a distinctive song. In a buzzy, somewhat wheezy voice, it seems to chant, 'Pines, pines, murmuring pines,' or its other song is a simple z z z zoot z. Next to a picture of a dark-eyed junco, it reads, "The junco is a little bird that is gray above with a tan hood and a white belly and bill. When it flits about, usually on the forest floor, it flashes white outer tail feathers. The junco song is a slow musical trill." Approaching a split in the trail, but following the Songbird Trail that goes left. Approaching a sign on the right-hand side of the trail that reads, "Old Beach Lines." From this spot, you can see several ancient Lake Superior beaches undulating away toward the west. This is a good place to listen for the premier woodland songster, the Hermit Thrush. Next to a picture of the Hermit Thrush, it reads, "In a haunting, flute-like whistle, the Hermit Thrush seems in tone, oh, spherical, spherical. This thrush is smaller than a robin, has a spotted breast, and a rufous tail." The trail narrows to a single-track trail and brings us back around towards the trail that we used to walk in on. Approaching and walking down the man-made steps. Approaching the man-made bridge. The people who were fishing when we first walked by have since left, and we will be able to see the trail sign on this side. It reads, Songbird Trail. Welcome to the Little Presque Songbird Trail, the most important factor in the health and survival of all creatures in this place, which provides food, water, and cover. This place is called habitat. The Little Presque area offers a number of attractive habitats for a variety of birds and animals. Along this trail, you will find interpretive panels similar to this one that identify the habitat and bird species that may be near. Take your time, be alert, look, listen, touch, smell, and enjoy nature all around you. Walking past the sign and onto the edge of the river before returning back and across the man-made bridge. The Songbird Trailhead parking lot can be seen in the distance, but I've decided we haven't had enough exploring, so we will head down a narrow path towards Little Presque Point. The trail is filled with fallen trees and is very narrow. The trail is covered with a lot of tree roots, and in many areas it is still very wet and muddy. The trail widens, and you can see Lake Superior peeking at the very end of what feels like a hallway, but the walls are made of trees. It is a perfect path straight ahead. The shoreline of Lake Superior is on the left-hand side. The lake is pretty calm, and the waves are just rolling in lightly. On the lookout up Little Presque Point, you can see the island just out ahead and waves slowly rolling in. heading in the direction of the trailhead, but through the trees and closer to the beach to take a closer look. Walking down a small hill onto the beach and up towards the water to walk along the shoreline, up the beach towards the trailhead. Stepping off the beach and back onto the main trail, I realized this video is getting a little bit long, so I decided to speed things up a bit and get us back to the trailhead. So hold on.
Hey guys, we are back at the trailhead. It is actually its own little parking lot for the Songbird Trail. So it's pretty easy to find. It's right off of, if you're coming from Marquette towards Big Bay, it is on the right hand side, and it's near Harlow Lake as well. Harlow Lake is on the other side of the road. It was actually a really, really nice walk, despite the weather not being super, super nice out. It's about 45 degrees, and it's pretty overcast, but that's okay. It's not raining, so it was pretty fun. Today was a little different in the means that I saw quite a few people out. So you may have noticed that we kind of went off trail and kind of weaved around a little bit more. But that was just me doing my part. I'm just trying to social distance, make sure that I'm not in other people's way, kind of explore on my own. So we did venture off trail a few times, and I may even have some extra clips for you, which is pretty cool. So if you have any ideas of where you'd like to see next, please let me know. And thank you for joining. Have a good day.